Meet Foxy, a clever fox who gets into a bit of a tangle. Join us for Foxy's Big Idea and discover how he learns that the best way to be is just himself.
One sunny morning, a young fox named Foxy, with the most magnificent bushy tail in the forest, found himself in a tricky situation. He had sniffed out a tasty treat, but oh dear, it was a trap. He yelped and pulled with all his might, his heart thumping like a drum. After what felt like forever, Foxy finally broke free. But alas, his beautiful swirling tail, his pride and joy, was left behind in the rusty jaws of the trap. Poor Foxy felt a sting of sadness and a shiver of fear run through his small body. Foxy felt so embarrassed about his missing tail, he imagined all his fox friends pointing and giggling. "Oh, look at Foxy, the fox without a fluffy tail," he thought, hiding deeper in the bushes. He was usually so outgoing, but now he just wanted to disappear. He spent his days watching the other foxes play from afar, a lonely ache in his chest. The thought of their laughter felt worse than the pain of the trap. Days turned into weeks, and Foxy grew tired of being alone. He missed the playful pounces and the friendly chatter of the other foxes. The forest felt quiet without his friends. He tried to ignore the emptiness, but it was like a little gnawing feeling inside him. One evening, as the moon peeked through the trees, a clever spark ignited in Foxy's mind. What if I could make them understand? He wondered, a tiny bit of hope flickering in his heart. Perhaps I don't have to be lonely anymore. The very next morning, Foxy, feeling a rush of courage, made an announcement that echoed through the forest. Hear ye, all fellow foxes, he barked, his voice a little wobbly but determined. He scampered from den to den, inviting everyone. I have a very important message for our whole tribe, Foxy declared, trying to sound as grand as possible. Curiosity buzzed among the foxes. What could Foxy, who had been so hidden, possibly have to say? They all promised to gather, wondering about this surprising meeting. Soon, the entire fox community arrived, their bushy tails swishing as they settled on the soft grass. There were young kits tumbling playfully and older, wiser foxes sitting regally. Foxy took a deep breath, his heart doing a little flip-flop in his chest. He stood tall, looking out at every single fox's ears perked up. Then he began his speech, his voice growing stronger with each word. He carefully explained all the problems he had ever heard of that involved a fox's tail. Foxy painted a vivid picture with his words. Imagine. "Dear friends," he began. "Poor little rusty fox. One day he was dashing through the tall hedges, joyful and free. But, oh, his long, bushy tail snagged badly on a thorny branch." Foxy mimed the snagging with his paw. Suddenly, the baying of hounds grew closer. Woof, woof, and Rusty couldn't get away. His beautiful tail had become his biggest problem, holding him fast. The other foxes gasped, their eyes wide with concern, imagining the danger. Then Foxy continued. And what about Speedy Fox? He was known for his lightning-fast sprints, the quickest in the whole forest. But one rainy day, his magnificent, heavy brush of a tail became utterly waterlogged. It dragged behind him, making him slow and clumsy. Foxy puffed out his cheeks, trying to show how heavy it was. He just couldn't escape the farmer's watchful eye because of its dragging weight. His speed was gone. The listening foxes nodded, some even testing the lightness of their own dry tails. Foxy lowered his voice, making it sound serious. "And then there's the biggest danger of all," he whispered dramatically. "Everyone knows that humans, those noisy two-legged creatures, chase us not for our smarts, but for our lovely bushy tails. They want them as trophies." He shivered a little, truly remembering his own narrow escape. "They take them away as a prize of their hunt, just like mine was taken." A hush fell over the assembled foxes, and a few little kits hid behind their parents' legs, looking scared. Foxy puffed out his chest, feeling very important, so he concluded triumphantly. With all this clear proof of the dangers and utter uselessness of a big bushy tail, I, Master Foxy, have a wise suggestion for you all. He paused for dramatic effect, looking around at the expectant faces. If you truly value your life and your safety, dear friends, you should all, every single one of you, cut off your tails immediately. He ended with a flourish, expecting murmurs of agreement. The clearing grew silent, the only sound the gentle rustle of leaves. Foxy waited, beaming, for applause and agreement, but instead, a deep, calm voice broke the quiet. The wise old fox, a magnificent gray fox with a grand silver-tipped tail, slowly rose to his feet. He had a knowing twinkle in his amber eyes, and a gentle smile played on his lips. "Master Foxy," he said, his voice kind and steady, "before you ask us to follow your advice, would you be so kind as to simply turn around for all of us to see?" Foxy felt a tiny flutter of nervousness, but still convinced of his cleverness, he slowly turned around. He wagged his smooth, tailless rump, expecting perhaps a gasp of admiration for his bravery. But instead of praise, a wave of surprised giggles rippled through the crowd. Then came the snickers, then outright laughter, a chorus of "ha ha ha" and playful "hoo hoo hoo" echoed through the trees. Foxy's heart sank and his ears drooped. The sound of their laughing made him sadly realize his big plan would never work. Foxy quickly turned back, his face burning red under his fur, and wished he could dig a hole and hide forever. The laughter wasn't mean-spirited, but it cut deep into his heart. He understood now. No matter how many clever words he used, no one would willingly give up something so natural and beautiful just because he had lost his. He saw his reflection in their tails, full, swishy, and perfect. His grand plan had fallen apart in a burst of amusement from his friends, leaving him feeling small and foolish once more. The wise old fox gently approached Foxy, his tail swishing softly. He placed a comforting paw on Foxy's shoulder. "Dear Foxy," he said kindly, his deep amber eyes full of warmth, "we all understand you felt embarrassed, but our tails are part of who we are, just like your clever mind and brave heart are part of you." Foxy looked up, surprised by the kindness. He realized the old fox wasn't laughing, but offering a warm, understanding presence. It felt like a soft hug for his spirit. Foxy felt the warmth spread through him. He looked at his friends, some still chuckling softly, but many now offered kind smiles. He began to understand. Perhaps his tail wasn't what made him special after all. He might not have a bushy tail anymore, but he still had his wit, his speed, and his friends. He wiggled his tailless rump tentatively. It felt different, but it was him. And maybe, just maybe, that was okay. From that day on, Foxy stopped trying to hide his unique look. He still ran and played with the other foxes, pouncing as quickly and cleverly as ever. He found that his friends truly didn't care about his missing tail. They cared about him. Foxy learned that true happiness comes from accepting yourself, quirks and all. And that feeling, he realized, was even better than having the bushiness tail in the whole wide forest. So, what can we learn from Foxy's adventure? We learn that everyone is special and unique, just the way they are. Sometimes, we might wish we were different, but the best way to be happy is to love and accept ourselves for who we are. True friends will always love you, no matter if you have a long tail or no tail at all. Just like Foxy, you are perfect, wonderful, and absolutely amazing.
Ever dreamed of being the hero? Now you get to be the star. Your adventure starts at TalesMio. Visit talesmio.com now.